Hey beautiful people, welcome back to the channel. I'm Josie with Awakened Soul, and we're here for a reading about the person on your mind and your connection to each other. I'm so glad you're here, and I hope you're having an amazing day or night whenever you are joining in for today's reading. In our pop-up reading today, we will be talking about the person on your mind and what you need to know most right now about them and your connection to them. I'm going to go ahead and get us started with the oracle cards to get a good backbone out for the rest of the reading and the important info first. Then after that, we'll dive deeper using the tarot, some channeled message cards, tiles, charms, and astrology dice. And as always, I will be closing our reading off today with a message from universe just for you to help you bring the focus back toward yourself again. Please do excuse the background noise. That is my dishwasher. Unfortunately, I have limited filming time today, and I also had to take care of some household stuff. I don't want to waste water by stopping and restarting it. I think it's almost done though, so hopefully it won't take up our whole reading time here today. But anyway, we're going to get started by introducing these cards to you and then go from there. If you do find yourself resonating with today's message, make sure to let me know by hitting that like button. You're also welcome to share your story below in the comments with the collective if you would like to, and subscribe for more readings in the future as I do post on a daily basis, knock on wood, unless I literally can't. So, okay guys. Representing what you need to know most about your person and your connection to them right now, we have the Forest, Kairos, and the Vow. We have Taurus, slow but steady, Square, turn a corner, hold your vision, Fixed Moon. Some of you out there may have fixed moon signs. That would be Leo, Scorpio, why can't I think right now, Aquarius, and Taurus. So double notes of Taurus, bonus points if you're a Taurus moon. We also have a fiery climax approaches, full moon in Aries. That happens during Libra season. So Libra season could be important if you're watching this when I'm filming it. Libra season is approaching pretty soon here. In fact, we may have just entered into it. Yes, when I'm filming this. So yeah, actually I think we're just entering into Libra season. So that could be important here. We also have Bat, Earthworm, Tarantula, and Vulture. Okay. Alrighty, I think I got all that out of the way. Somebody may have blue eyes in this connection. That is all I'm noticing for right now. I'll let you guys know if I see anything else for extra confirmation. The last thing I'm going to say before we get into the messages, because this in and of itself is a message. I was preparing our reading for us. I always, shuffle out cards from a specific deck, then I rotate decks to see which ones I'm feeling called to. I got these 3 cards out, and then I was reaching over to my stack of decks over here, which I call deck Jenga. And I was trying to grab a specific deck when 4 of my decks just collapsed onto the floor. And you guys, it was a hot mess. We're talking 4 completely full decks scrambled within each other all over my floor. It took me a little while to actually get everything reorganized, reshuffled, and picked up. But it was a hot mess. And, when that happened, I was like, okay, it's probably a part of the reading. We're going to see what this is all about. And I have that bonus message for you guys, because I feel like your energy right now is one of impatience. You have been waiting for a change to happen with your person, probably for a while now. You're getting really impatient with them. And maybe you kind of feel a little bit like a hot mess, or you feel like your internal world is really unstable towards this person right now because of this impatience or this intense energy coming over you. Because what I'm seeing is you, I don't know, it wasn't my intention to make this first spread about you, but there's a lot about you coming through and how it relates to your person based on what you need to know about them. So we're going to cover that first, and just bear with me because it's important. I feel you over there, kind of getting a little bit heated, a little bit fiery. You're impatient. Maybe you've been waiting to turn a corner with this person for a while. Maybe things have been progressing really slow and you've been ready to take things to the next level for a while, but no progress is being made. You have a specific picture in your head of what needs to happen and when, and what a timeline would look like for you for moving forward in the connection. And it's like, I feel you over there just growing with your impatience. And I think for a while you were being overly patient with your person. You were like, yeah, take your time, or okay, we can take things slow. That's okay. You've been like overly generous with your patience from your perspective with them, but you still aren't seeing much progress being made. I want to note that universe does have a message for you about that and how it relates with your person and the connection overall. I think this is a pattern you've carried over from a previous connection into this one, because our first animal is the bat. This talks about sometimes being hung up on the past, reminiscing about the past, kind of dwelling on things that have happened already before. And I feel like this relates to a previous relationship or connection of some sorts, where maybe in the past with a different person, you were waiting for them to take the next step in the relationship or the connection, or you were waiting for them to make a move, or you were waiting for them to ask you out. You were always kind of like waiting for progress to be made, and it didn't end up happening. And so you, somewhere along the line, developed this standard of, okay, I need us to be official after a month of dating. After that, we need to start talking about the future. Are we going to move in together? Are we going to join our incomes? Are we going to get married one day, engaged? You had like a specific picture of how you wanted things to go in your next relationship based on this previous relationship. And I am not one to say that that's wrong and that's not a good thing. I think it's very important to have standards in a relationship and towards people you may want to partner up with. I think that's extremely important to have standards and boundaries and to know your non-negotiables. But what's going on here in this connection, from what I can see, is there's kind of like a heavily attached energy coming from you to this person, where it's like you really want it to work. You're putting a lot of importance on this connection. You're really hopeful it's going to work. And so even though you do have these standards and boundaries, it's like the energy is getting misdirected. Instead of you putting it towards yourself and maybe making a choice to walk away if this person isn't on board with you, and to have that high level of self-worth enough to know when to, what's the phrase? Know when to fold them, know when to hold them, right? In poker, I think, or in card games. It's like there's like a mismatch of energy going on, which, I'm not saying you're wrong for it all, and I am not coming at you right now. Please don't get me wrong, okay? Please don't get it twisted. But it's like, for example, let's say you've been with this person, or you've been seeing this person for like 2, 3, 4 years, and they're still not ready to take things to the next step, even though you have told them that's your preference, or you've put that on the line for them, but you're not upholding your own boundaries by walking away or removing yourself from the situation. It's like the energy isn't matching with what you're feeling inside, okay? And I'm not telling you what to do. I'm definitely not saying get up and walk away from this person. At the end of the day, you need to make the decision you think is best for you. But if you have standards and boundaries and non-negotiables, it's up to you to uphold them, not trying to force another person to fit into that box if they don't want to do it. Does that make sense? So if this person has given you no indication that they are making progress and they are working towards this, and you're sitting there like kind of poking them like, come on, it's time to do this, it's time to do this, it might be time for you to redirect your energy elsewhere with somebody who's on the same page as you naturally. And again, I'm not telling you what to do. We haven't even started talking about your person yet, but I think universe had that powerful message for somebody out there who really needed to hear that, okay? We're going to talk a little bit more about your person going forward here. But what you need to know most about the situation is that change is going to happen. I do see a change coming in for this connection. It just might not be according to the timeline you're wanting. And at the end of the day, this is your life. Nobody's coming in to fix it for you or to change things for you. It's up to you to decide what your non-negotiables are and what your boundaries are. If you have a biological clock ticking and you want to have kids and you know you only have like 5 years or so left to do that, and this person isn't going to be ready to take that step for 6, 7, 8 more years, you know, you can't force them into making big life decisions like that. You might have to say, okay, well, maybe this isn't the right person for me then, and I'm going to move on with my life, right? That's kind of what I'm getting at here. Because this person seems to want to take things slow from what I can see. You're wanting things to turn a corner and to move more quickly than they are because you have a vision in your head of what you want this to be, what you want to happen in this connection, and what you want and the vision you have might not be matching up with the connection itself, okay? With Kairos, there's a lot of divine timing at play here, and I do think that you met this person for a reason. Now, with that being said, some people are in our lives for a reason or a season or a lifetime. This may be one of those connections that's a season, okay? And I can't say for certain, and I'm not going to put that out there. I'm never going to put anything out there like it's 100% concrete fact, because A, I'm not God, B, this is a collective reading, and C, we live in a reality with free will, and things can shift and things can change. Nothing is ever permanently set in stone. We can always change our course, right? But yeah, I think basically what you're waiting for is some level of higher commitment with this person, and so much divine timing is at play. I can't say for certain when that's going to happen, if that's going to happen, how it's going to happen at this point in time. And that's something you're either going to have to, you know, come to terms with and accept, or remove yourself from the situation is what I'm seeing. So what we're going to do next is get out some tarot. We're going to dive deeper into our message here today, see what other details I can get out for us. So give me a moment here, you guys, while I get organized. The last thing I want to say before we get into the tarot actually is, because I feel like this has been like a more negative vibe type of reading, and I haven't even talked about those songs yet. Which I pull randomly, like my tiles, my dice, and my charms. We have Lifetime, Mine, and Blinded. I feel like this connection really actually does have the potential to be a lifelong relationship, a lifelong connection. But the timing isn't matching up with what you're wanting, and so it's kind of like blinding you to seeing that as a reality because it's not fitting what you wanted it to be, if that makes sense. Okay, so now let's get into the tarot. Talk to me about this person, the viewer's person, what they need to know most right now. Oh my gosh. Okay, we have a couple cards I need to pick up on the ground, but we have these out too, so. Okay. Let me reshuffle the other ones and get us going. Are we done yet, dishwasher? It's been going for like an hour now, you guys. I don't think that's normal. Maybe it is. I don't know. I guess I've never timed the dishwasher before, but okay. All right, wasn't planning on getting this many, but here we are. All right. And yes, there's a rhyme and reason for how these cards are laid out. It's because these two came out in pairs with each other, so I like to keep them next to one another. Okay, so we have the Star, the Knight of Swords, the Hierophant, the Sun, the Four of Cups, the Fool, the Two of Swords, and the Ten of Wands. I chuckled because we have The Star, the Hierophant, and the Sun, all three of these are fixed signs. We have Aquarius, Taurus, and Leo energy, and we talked about that earlier. So somebody could definitely have fixed sign placements in their chart. Somebody could have a little bit of stubbornness or rigidity to them, for sure. I feel like, honestly, that's probably somewhat of your energy because it seems like you have a plan in mind. You have preferences in mind that you're pretty fixated on, like your feet. They just showed me like a bull or a horse or a hooved animal, like stomping its feet into the ground, like not budging. Like you have a mindset or an opinion you aren't going to budge on. And again, I'm not here to say that's right or wrong. I think it's important to have standards and boundaries, but also to look at the bigger picture. And anyway, we're not going to go back into that speech again, but I found it interesting. The only other zodiac sign we have is Gemini with the Knight of Swords, which is a mutable sign, which in a way is kind of like, I read mutable signs as almost like the opposite of fixed signs. Mutables are very much go with the flow, go wherever the wind takes them. Fixed signs are much more like planted and stubborn. Okay, anyway. So, how am I going to phrase this? I think universe is giving you exactly what you've asked for, kind of like this hand delivering the shell down to her from the clouds. I think universe is kind of giving you exactly what you've asked for, but you're not seeing it clearly. There's something about you not seeing it clearly because you have your blinders on because of past baggage. I think you are quite literally being given the relationship or the connection that you have asked for. It's not matching up exactly the way your 3D preferences want it to, or according to your 3D timeline. And so you're blinded to the fact that it's actually everything you've asked for. In a way, it's like if you wrote down a list of everything you wanted in a partner, everything you desired, everything you were looking for, it's almost like this connection would match up to a T, but something about the timeline, or like the slow progress is throwing you off and causing you to have blinders on so you can't see it. So in the beginning of the reading, in a way it was kind of like, I guess universe wanted to be kind of like tough love. You're not wrong for having your opinions and your preferences. I just think that you might not be seeing it as clearly as you think you are, like because of past wounds or past baggage. Maybe you were with somebody that breadcrumbed you forever, and so now you have some kind of trauma surrounding that where you're like really afraid you're going to spend years and years or months and months of your life devoting yourself to a person who's not giving you commitment. But this person wants to or is planning on moving things forward with you. It's just not as fast as you would like because of how your past trauma or past wound from that other relationship has warped your perception. Does that make sense? Because I do see this person wanting to keep moving forward with you. It's just slower than you would like, okay? But there is a new beginning coming in for this connection when you take your blinders off and when you start to see it differently. It might benefit you to take a step back for a little while. I'm not suggesting breaking up or going on a break or, totally walking away, ghosting. But maybe taking a step back, going in therapy, talking it out with somebody, or trying to see things from a different perspective might help you out a little bit right now. Because when it comes to this person, I can see good intentions. I can see that they do intend on having a new beginning with you and taking things to the next level and trying to move forward. It's just not according to what your original preferences were. And part of that is because of past baggage that is blinding you to what is currently being given to you with this connection. Okay? So let's get into, I'm going to do another spread of tarot. Typically, I would save this for my extendeds, but right now I'm feeling called to keep it within this reading. So you guys get a freebie today, I suppose, if you want to put it that way. But I just want to be as detailed as possible. And by the way, it is worth joining Patreon if you do like extendeds, because I add like between 10 and 20 a month to my Patreon. I do them regularly. So you're still welcome to check that out if you would like, but I'm just going to pull right now on your person and keep it within the YouTube reading today. What's going on with my cards? What's happening here? Hold on. Some of them are backwards, some of them are not, and that's going to bother me, so I got to fix it. Okay, there we go. All right, so what are this person's honest intentions towards you? Let's start with that. We have the Empress. They want to give you what you want. This person does intend on giving you exactly what you've asked for, because the Empress is divine feminine energy. The Empress is receptive energy, receiving, okay? This person wants to give you what you've asked for. They want to give you what you want. That is their intention to do that, okay? We also have the Fool, so it might involve a new beginning or a new chapter of the connection or the relationship. They do plan on giving that to you. It's just to them, oh, yep, they want me to show you the images. Hold on. To them, it feels scary in the moment because maybe they're coming into this connection with their own wounds or own trauma. Maybe it's the opposite of what you've experienced, where you gave and gave and gave and waited and waited and waited and saw no results. Maybe it's the opposite for your person, where they rushed into a relationship in the past and it bit them in the butt. And so maybe their lesson is the opposite of yours, where you were used to waiting with no progress. They rushed in and got bit in the behind. And so maybe from their perspective, taking their time is how to keep them safe. And from your perspective, rushing things and not waiting around forever is how to keep you safe. Those are opposite energies. Neither are necessarily right or wrong, but definitely different, and definitely could be causing some strife or some issues between the two of you because you're opposites and the way you view progression is opposite. Because I'm looking at this wolf really wanting to go after the rabbit, the goal, right? But stepping onto this ice and it's cracking, okay? And the ice is cracking and you can kind of see the wolf's energy is desire for the progress, but also fear of what's going on beneath its feet. And that's kind of how your person is feeling right now, okay? They want to give you what you want, but they're also afraid to just rush into it and give you everything that you want because they're afraid maybe they'll be betrayed. Maybe they'll be abandoned. Maybe they'll go all in again and then be abandoned or left high and dry in some way. So that's making a lot of sense now that we've had that context from your person and why they aren't moving forward as fast as you might like them to. It's because of that fear that they have. And so maybe by stepping back and looking at their perspective or talking to somebody about it, maybe even going to therapy, to work through it could be helpful because they'll understand your perspective, you'll understand their perspective, and it'll start making more sense to both of you, and maybe you can find some common ground, some middle ground, okay? Because this person wants to take a risk with you. It just feels really scary and risky to them, even if you don't see it from the same perspective, okay? All right, so what we're going to do next is tiles, charms, and astro dice. Then we will get into the channeled messages. I'm going to roll these 3 times-ish, maybe 4. We'll see how I feel. And then these may be zodiac placements in your chart, their chart, or both of your charts. If anybody wants to be awesome and comment these below for the collective, I will pin it or heart it if I can remember to. That way it's easy for everybody to reference in case you miss it, okay? All right, so we have Leo, Neptune, and Neptune. Leo is a fixed sign. Again, we've had a lot of that energy coming through, and we have maybe both of you are where to go. Maybe both of you are Leo Neptunes, okay? Oop. We have Libra, North Node, and Neptune again. So Neptune energy could also be really important. Neptune rules Pisces, I believe. We have Aries, Jupiter, and Mercury. Aries, Jupiter, and Mercury. Okay. Let me get a couple more. Okay, that was more than I wanted, but we're here. We're here for it. Okay. Okay, so I'm seeing Roy right away. Somebody's name could be Roy. Okay. Somebody's name could be Ray or D. Somebody could call the other deer, okay, like honey, deer, something like that. We also have a T, a C, and a J, and an M, okay, for our letters. We have a pearl attached to like a little gift bow. Okay, so again, I think this is your person's energy of wanting to give you what you want, what you've asked for. They do want to do that, okay? It is their desire to do so, but keep in mind they're a little bit afraid. We have a blue circle here. The circle charms are endings of cycles that are coming to a close in the connection. And since it's blue, it's giving me throat chakra energy, which is telling me you're going to be finding some kind of resolution with communication, okay? The two of you may have like an actual heart-to-heart conversation about this soon. We have a starfish, so somebody may live in a tropical area where there are starfish. What's that little piece of lint or fuzz or something? We have a cross here. There could be religious differences. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe one of you is religious, the other one is not. Maybe you are religious and so you want to get married before having kids or moving in together, or maybe, there are certain religious beliefs that are making you want to move the timeline up faster. Your person may not be religious, so they don't have that same motivation you do, but it's possible that religious factors are at play. And then last but not least, we have the peace sign. I think at the end of the day, both of you deep down are just desiring to feel at peace and to not feel stressed out or pressured or under the fire. Both of you have the same internal desire of just wanting to feel safe and comfortable and peaceful, okay? And you're kind of sick of the conflict and the stress that's coming from this difference. Okay, so let's get out a couple of message cards now. These will be from your person if they could speak freely, openly, and honestly. I'm going to get a few out and then I'll read them to you. All right, we're just going to leave it there for right now. So first up, oh yeah, no, we'll take the back of the deck too. I feel like I need to. Okay, so we have detachment. I had to let this go so I could clear my mind. It's possible that maybe this person did for a period of time walk away so they could think things over, or maybe sometimes they do pull back their energy from you so they can process things, because it does seem like your person is very fearful, and when they get fearful, they backtrack or they take things slow or they, back away a little bit. So if that sounds like your person, that could be why. It's so that they could clear their head and process things better. We have unfinished business. We still have things to resolve and discuss. Daydreaming, I'm always longing for you. And secrets, I haven't told you everything. Okay, so your person definitely wants to have a conversation about this with you. They feel like you aren't on the same page. It's time to get clear with one another. So a conversation could be coming up soon. Right as I was saying that, we have, I'm going to text you soon. So yeah, they'll probably be talking about this with you soon. We have daydreaming, I'm always longing for you. And secrets, I haven't told you everything. I don't remember if I read those or not, but I think I did. I guess I read them again. Yeah, your person hasn't told you what their point of view is, and I think that they feel like that's necessary. They need to open up to you about it. They've been sending you signs. Maybe you've noticed some of those signs, maybe you haven't. We also have, I made a big mistake and I don't want to hurt you, okay? So I think this is from your person's past, not necessarily with you. I think that they've made mistakes in the past that they've learned from, and like you, they're trying to do the opposite of what they did last time when they made those mistakes, and that's where the two of you are kind of like butting heads and clashing right now. They don't want to hurt you. It's not their intention to, disrupt your life or bother you or hurt you in any way. That honestly is not their intention, and they're not trying to do that. Okay? Alrighty, you guys. We're going to get you a couple of personal messages from universe now, and then we're going to close today's reading off. Thank you again for being here. And if you haven't gotten a chance to yet, I would love it if you would like the video, support the channel, and subscribe for more in the future. Okay. All right, so your first personal message is, this is your validation that things are finally beginning to work out for you. Get ready for unexpected breakthroughs, good news, and plot twists. Blessings are coming. Now, as I always say, this doesn't have to relate to the connection at all whatsoever. So if it applies to other areas of your life, great. But in this case, it might also apply to this connection we're talking about as well. It could be that maybe when you finally let go of control, when you finally detach, when you finally say, I'm good either way about this connection, that could be when a breakthrough is coming in for it and for you, right? Detachment isn't about saying, oh, I don't care, in like a hurtful way. It's about saying, I trust the divine, I trust God, and I'm good either way. Whatever happens here, I know I'm being led where I need to go, and I'm good with whatever the outcome is. That's what true detachment is in this sense, okay? And then your affirmation is, today I choose. Today I will only surround myself with people who support me. And as always, I invite you to affirm this with me and the collective down below in the comments. I'm going to pack up and leave this reading here. Thank you so much again for joining. I hope you have a blessed rest of your day or night, and I would love to see you for a future reading. Bye for now.